Oh, and then swipe.
Okay.
Committee members, if you're in your offices, please come to Committee Room 1 or log in virtually, please. Thank you. Okay, can members take their seats, please? And I need quiet in the council. My name is Councillor Chris Moyes. I'm the chair of the Toronto and East York Community Council. We have quorum. I am now calling meeting 34 to order. Today's meeting is being held by video conference and in person at City Hall in Committee Room 1. This meeting is also being live streamed online at youtube.com/Toronto City Council Live. Although we may be meeting in different locations today, the Toronto and East York Community Council would like to acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. As a Caribbean Canadian, I am committed to continually acting in solidarity with our African, Caribbean, and Black communities seeking freedom and reproductive justice in light of the history and ongoing legacy of slavery that continues to impact our communities across Canada. As part of this commitment, I would like to acknowledge that not all people came to these lands as migrants and settlers. Specifically, I wish to acknowledge those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to these lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. In support of the City of Toronto's ongoing efforts to confront anti-Black racism, I pay tribute to those ancestors of African, Caribbean, and Black origin and descent. If you are registered to speak at today's meeting, please listen for me to call your name. I will call speakers in the order they appear on the list. The list of speakers can be viewed online by visiting the Toronto and East York Community Council page at toronto.ca/council and clicking the speakers box for today's meeting. Members, the City Clerk has provided all agenda materials on toronto.ca/council and on CMP, the Clerk's meeting portal. Clerk's IT staff are available to members if you need to help with your devices. I also want to remind you to please submit and approve your motions by email. Staff are available at tycc@toronto.ca to help with motions. Are there any declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? If you do have an interest, please raise your hand or unmute your mic and indicate the item number and the nature of the interest. Seeing none, Councillor Bradford, may I have a motion to confirm the minutes from meeting on May 23rd, 2026?
So moved.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're going to display the motion here. So we have 220 items over a 2-day period, and today alone we have 106 speakers. 106 speakers for today alone. So I am going to request that we limit deputant speaking time to 3 minutes. I'm going to close the speakers list at 10 a.m. I'm also going to request that members can ask questions of deputants for 3 minutes, ask questions of staff for 3 minutes, and you can allow to speak on the item of 3 minutes. So everyone, 3 minutes.
Sometimes we need more than 3 minutes for staff questions, Chair. So I think yeah. Yeah, 3 and 3 plus the regular committee work. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so you make the adjustments for members to
Thank you.
ask questions of staff for 3 minutes. Oh, sorry, 5 minutes.
There's no change.
Speaking time 3 minutes.
5.
Speaking time 5 minutes. Okay. Just be prepared to be here till 11 p.m.
You've been trained at the feet
So
of
questions
Francis.
of staff, 5 minutes. Questions of and speaking time for members, 5 minutes.
So everything remains the same except our questions for deputants and deputants. Yeah.
It's important to note, though, because we are making these changes, that members remain until the end.
You have been trained by the speaker, I can tell.
There we go. So this is the updated version.
Okay, so we made the amended changes. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay. So please note that as this is a 2-day meeting, items TE 34.1 to TE 34.7 and TE 34.60 to TE 34.78 to TE 34.96 and TE 34.165 have been timed for Wednesday, July 9th, which is tomorrow. Not what's
Sorry,
the
Thursday.
sorry
Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, it says Wednesday. I'm like Thursday.
Yeah.
What's today's date? It's the number.
We're a little
Okay.
nights.
Okay, the 9th. Is the 9th? What's today?
Today's the 8th.
Okay, so Thursday the 9th. So items TE 34.8 to TE 34.59 are timed for today, so we will begin the run through at item TE 34.61. Yep, 61. Okay, so fasten your seatbelt and here we go. TE 34.61, 120 Eglinton Avenue East, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. Councillor Matlow.
I move to approve the recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.73,
62?
well, there are time items on the others.
No, 62 is not timed.
Who's not timed?
Nope.
Give me a moment. Okay, yep, okay.
70.
T 34.62, 4 Gilded Place, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment. I'm going to move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.63, 445 to 451 Adelaide Street West, zoning bylaw amendment. Deputy Malik, are you online? She's heading to her office. I will hold that for her. Oh, there she is. Here you are. Yeah. Item 63. Item 63.
Yep, I'd like to move the staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.64, 262 to 266 St. George Street. Councillor Sachs.
Staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.65, 2345 Young Street, zoning bylaw amendment application. Councillor Matlow.
I move the staff recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.66, 3044 Dundas Street West, inclusion on the Heritage Registry. Councillor Perks.
I'll move the staff recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.67, 72 Henry Street, 258 Wallace Avenue, and 80 Ward Street, inclusion on the Heritage Registry. Councillor Bravo.
I'll move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.68, 468 to 470 Queen Street West, demolition of a designated heritage property under Part 5, Section 42 of the Ontario Heritage Act. Councillor Deputy Malik. Item 68.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to move the staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.69, 162 Douglas Drive, application to demolish a structure and erect a new structure in the North Rosedale Heritage Conservation District. Councilor Sachs? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.70, 80 Robert Street, alterations to a designated property under Part 5, Section 42 of the Ontario Heritage Act. Councilor Sachs?
Staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.71, 79 Whitehall Road, application to demolish a structure and erect a new structure in the North Rosedale Heritage Conservation District. Councilor Sachs?
Staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.72, authorization to study the Yorkville Village Core as a potential heritage conservation district. Councilor Sachs?
Staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.97, changes to business improvement area boards. 73. Jeez, I don't know what's happening with my list here. T34.73, 570, 572, 574, 576 Sherburne Street, and 29 and 37 Linton Street, alterations to and demolition of attributes on designated heritage properties and removal of a building under Part 4, Section 33 and 34(2) of the Ontario Heritage Act, and authority to enter into a heritage easement agreement. I will move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.74, 78 Springhurst Avenue, residential demolition application. Councilor Perks?
Move the recommendations.
There's three options.
1 second, please.
No worries.
You would choose 3?
I would choose to go for door number 3.
Sorry.
You win a bingo.
We'll hold it down.
No. I'm almost there. Oh, it's okay. Yes, Councillor Matlow's right. I wanted to move recommendation 3.
Okay.
Congratulations.
We'll post it. Item 3.
To approve the demolition with a whole bunch of conditions.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.75, 793 Adelaide Street West, residential demolition application. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to hold this item, please.
Okay. Item 76 has speakers. Item 77 has speakers. Item T3497, changes to business improvement area boards of management. Councillor Bravo.
I'll move the recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.98, Fort York Integrated Operations and Heritage Stewardship Study. Deputy Mayor Malik. Item 98.
Thank you. I'd like to move my amendment.
Okay. Just display it. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item as amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T34.99, renaming Close Springhurst Parquet in honor of Diane Rajaram. Councillor Perks.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to take 30 seconds. Very few things I have done in my 20 years give me as much joy as this item. Diane Rajaram lived most of her life on Jameson Avenue, where she was a tenant activist. And walking down Jameson with Diane was always an experience. She literally knew everyone. Someone would pass her on the street and she'd know what building they lived in, the landlord was, what their current status of their hearing in front of the Ontario Land Tribunal was, and what help her organize to solve her problem. She was an absolute joy to work with, and also created the Golden Cockroach Award, which was annually given out to the worst landlord in the city of Toronto. Diane was a true hero, and all of us in Parkdale will delight in being able to go to a park named after her.
Thank you, Councillor Perks. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. That's unanimous. T 34.100, naming new park at 95 St. Patrick Street, Asini Adesokan Aki / Stone Spirit Park. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Thank you very much. I'd like to move staff recommendations with thanks to the community members and the Indigenous placekeeping efforts in our Toronto's downtown core to come up with this bilingual name. Thank you to the chair for so beautifully demonstrating how to pronounce it well, and we will continue to support our community to know this as Stone Spirit Park and Asini Adesukan Aki Park in its proper name. So thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor? It's carried. T 34.101, 1526 Davenport Road, encroachment appeal, various encroachments. Councillor Bravo.
I'll move the recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.102, 12 Hickson Street, encroachment appeal. Councillor Bravo.
I'll move the recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.103, 353, 355, and 357 College Street, encroachment appeals. Councillor Sachs.
Yes, very proud to move these recommendations. Planet Traveler can finally build its expansion.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.104, initial findings reports, transit priority measures to support the 505 Dundas 6-minute network. Councillor Perks.
Happy to move this one.
Sorry, I'd like to hold this item. I think we were still in dialogue with the with staff on this.
Okay. T 34.105, transit priority measures to support transit diversions during construction on King Street West. Councillor Perks.
I'd also like to hold this. It has implications in my ward, and we're also working with staff on this.
Okay. T 34.106, Metrolinx Ontario Line, long-term temporary road closures, temporary delegations of authority under update on Liberty New Street. Deputy Mayor Malik, you want to hold this? Okay. I'm holding for Councillor Fletcher. T 34.107, Metrolinx East Harbour Transit Hub, temporary closure of Sunlight Park Road. Councillor Fletcher.
Approve the recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.108, Noble Street, 1266 Queen Street West, construction staging area. Councillor Perks.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.109, 72 Perth Avenue, construction staging area. Councillor Bravo.
I move the recommendations.
All those in
Really
favor?
important project. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, do you want to speak to it, Councillor Bravo?
No, I just wanted to say briefly that this is a terrific project that's it's 20% affordable. We broke ground with Mayor Chow, and I just want to thank everyone involved. It's all orders of government, developers that understand how to build the city, and I think this is great progress for Davenport and for the city.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. T 34.110, 355 Adelaide Street West, construction staging area. Deputy Mayor Malik.
This is 110.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'd like to hold this as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
T 34.111, 35 to 47 Camden Street, construction staging area. And this was deferred from the last meeting, the May meeting. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Yeah, I'd like to move an amendment.
Okay, we'll post it. Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item was amended. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.112, 128 Peters Street, construction staging area. This was also deferred from the May meeting. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Yeah, I'd like to move my amendment, please.
Okay, we'll post it. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item as amended. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.113, Richmond Street West, 471 Richmond Street West, and 38 Camden Street. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to hold this item as well, please.
T 34.114, 1 Bloor Street West, Young Street at Bloor Street West, construction staging area, time extension. Deputy Councilor Sachs.
I move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.115, 350 Davenport Road, construction staging area. Councilor Sachs.
Have an amendment. Staff have it.
Okay, can we post it? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.116, 44 Price Street, construction staging area. This too was deferred on the May meeting. Councilor Sachs.
Yes, I'd like to move the staff recommendations, but Mr. Chair, I see we have a lot of people standing. Is it possible to get more chairs for them?
There's overflow. There's an overflow room in Committee Room 4. If you'd like to go there, the monitors are on, so you could view it if you like.
Yeah,
When your item comes up, you can come back to this room and speak to it if you like.
I just want to let everybody know we're not reaching the Chinatown item for quite some time. So if you don't want to stand and wait, you can wait in where there's seats in Committee Room 4. Up to you.
There's a screen.
Okay,
And there's a screen. You'll be able to watch.
where was I?
117.
1416. Councilor Sachs.
116, I move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.117, Center Avenue and Edward Street, 481 University Avenue, construction staging area. Councilor Sachs.
It says, oh, yes. I move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.118, 29 to 39 Pleasant Boulevard, construction staging area. Councilor Matla.
I move to approve the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.119, 65 to 87 Raglan Avenue, construction staging area. Councilor Matla.
I move the recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.120, 100 Bond Street, construction staging area. I'm going to move my amendment. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.121, 325 Gerard Street East, construction staging area. I'm going to move my amendment. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? And carried. T 34.122, Grosvenor Street and Grenville Street, Phase 1, construction staging area. I'm going to move my amendment. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.123, 1134 Queen Street East, construction staging area. Councilor Fletcher.
Approved recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.124, 955 Lakeshore Boulevard West, temporary left turn prohibition. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I believe I have an amendment that was submitted.
Not on this item. This is item 124.
Oh, sorry. Where are we? Yes, we're not on 124?
124.
Yes. I believe I submitted an amendment on 124. Is it not in yet? Clerk
The
doesn't have
amendment, sorry, I'll hold it down for you. And you can speak to staff about it, okay? Rather than have an open mic discussion on it. T 34.125, Armadale Avenue and Mayfield Avenue, always stop, control. Councilor Perks.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.126, always stop, control, and parking amendments, Robinson Street and Manning Avenue, East intersection. Deputy Mayor Malik. Item 126.
Yes, I'd like to move the staff recommendations, please.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.127, Dufferin Street and Florence Street traffic control signals. Councilor Bravo?
I move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.128, Avenue Road and Edmund Avenue private access traffic control signal amendments. Councilor Matlow?
I move to approve the recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.129, 629, 633, and 675 Eastern Avenue traffic control signal traffic regulations. Council Fletcher?
Like to hold that?
T 34.130, Elizabeth Street and Elm Street traffic control signals. Council Sachs?
Moving the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.131, access parking spaces, July 2026. Councilor Perks. Oh, he's not here. Councilor Bradford. Councilor Bradford. Item 131.
Accessible part, just move
Just move the
that.
staff recs, please.
Okay.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.132, pay and display parking various streets, July 2026. I'm going to move stacks recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.133, various development to be excluded from permit parking in the Toronto and East York Community Council area.
Mr. Chair, I have an amendment on
Okay, Councilor Perks, that's the
So
amendment.
this is a technical amendment to include both of the appendices.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.134, various developments to be excluded from permit parking in the Toronto and East York Community Council area, non-delegated. Councilor Perks.
Yeah, I have the same amendment on this item.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.135, Mercer Street streetscape improvements and parking bylaw amendments. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.136, Oriole Parkway parking bylaw amendments. Councilor Matlow.
For those of you who have not visited Oriole Parkway recently, please check it out. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And now we want to make it work as well as it should be. So I'm going to move the recommendations.
Can I go now?
You're welcome to. Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Yeah, exactly. T 34.137, Farcaraz Lane parking amendments. It's in my ward. I should not to pronounce that properly. I'm going to move staff's recs on this one item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.138, Sumac Street parking amendments. I'm going to move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.139, Logan Avenue parking amendments. Councilor Fletcher.
Move staff recommendation.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.140, Donlands Avenue parking amendments. Councilor Fletcher.
Move staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.141, temporary adjustments to traffic and parking regulations for the 2026 Canadian National Exhibition. Councilor Perks.
Move approval?
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Parking, CNE.
T 34.142, temporary adjustments to traffic and parking regulations for 2026 Canadian National Exhibition. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the staff recommendations,
All
please.
those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.143, temporary adjustments to traffic and parking regulations for 2026 Distillery Winter Village. Councilor Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.144, temporary adjustments to traffic and parking regulations for the 2026 District Winter Village, non-delegated. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move an amendment.
Okay, staff is still working on the language, so I'm going to hold it down. Okay, that's item 144. T 34.145, Cooper Street, Downs Street, and John M. Tinsley Street, traffic regulations and parking amendments. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.146, 227 Gerard Street East, proposed traffic and parking amendments. I'm going to move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.147, pedestrian crosswalks on Winona Drive between Holland Park Avenue and Glenhurst Avenue. Councillor
I'd like to
Bravo.
move that. Yes, I'm happy to move that. Thank
All
you.
those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.148, Castle Frank Road and South Drive pedestrian crossing protection. Councillor Sachs.
Yes,
Speakers?
There's speakers on this item?
Yes.
Okay, it's not on my list, but
we should let the speakers know I do intend to defer this until the next meeting.
Sorry.
Until the January meeting.
Councillor Sachs, one second. What item?
148 and 149.
Okay, speakers. Let me just write this down. TE 34.149, Castle Frank Road and South Drive, non-delegated pedestrian crossing protection. Are there speakers too? Okay.
And similarly, I will be deferring this until the January meeting.
Okay. It's not on my list, so that's fine. TE 34.150, College Street and Manning Avenue pedestrian crossing
I move
protection.
this staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.151, Eglinton Avenue East and Lillian Street pedestrian crossing protection. Councillor Matlow.
I'm moving the recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.152, traffic calming speed humps various streets in Ward 4. Councillor Perks.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.153, St. John's Road additional speed humps. Councillor Perks.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.154, appointments to the Board of Management of the Waterfront Neighborhood Center. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the staff recommendation, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.155, appointment to the public member to the William H. Bill Bolton Area Arena Board. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.156, appointment of public members to the Moss Park Arena Board. I'm going to move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.157, appointment of the community members to the Apple Grove Community Complex Board of Management. Councillor Fletcher.
A move to approve.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.158, appointment of the community members to the Eastview Neighborhood Community Center Board of Management. Councillor Fletcher.
Hold.
TE 34.159, appointment to the Community Center 55 Board of Management. Councillor Bradford.
I'll move the staff recommendations, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.160, improvement pedestrian safety on Crescent Road, delegated. This was deferred from the May meeting. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.161, improving pedestrian safety on Crescent Road, non-delegated. That was also deferred from the May meeting. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.162, Euclid Avenue direction change. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.163, reopening item TE 27.550, Roxborough Street West, Phases 2, construction staging area, amendments, and TE 33.70, improving pedestrian safety on Roxborough Road. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
We're going to reopen this item.
You have to
All those in
reopen.
favor of reopening? Opposed? Carried. You going to post it?
No, we don't have to.
Okay, all those in favor of the item? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.164, Shaftesbury Avenue, parking amendments. Councillor Sachs.
Hold, please.
TE 34.166, 1113 to 1125 Dundas Street West, construction staging area. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to hold this down, please.
TE 34.167, accessible loading zone Mavity Street, south of Dundas Street West. Councillor Perks.
I will move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Am I missing something?
They're on the agenda.
To introduce new business.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. I did not introduce new business, so I'm going to do that now. TE 34.167 to TE 34.216. I'm going to ask Councilor Perks to move that item. All those in favor?
Adding them to the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Opposed, carried.
Thank you.
Okay, now we can actually go back to the new business. TE 34.166, 1113 to 1125 Dundas Street West, construction staging area.
Not one.
Deputy Mayor Malik.
No, you want 167.
Oh, 167.
I already held
Okay.
this, yeah.
All right. Okay. 167. T 34.167. Accessible loading zone, Mabity Street, south of Dundas. Councilor Perks.
I'll move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.168. Davenport Village Traffic Safety Plan. Additional improvements. Councilor Bravo.
Yes, I would like to just speak briefly because you'll see a number of items here. In total, we have 24 traffic safety improvement items for Davenport just in this meeting. And I just want to thank Patrick Cahill at Transportation Services for this entire term being a terrific partner to our office, to our community. We have initiated this work together. Our office, my team has we've walked the streets, we've talked to residents. This all represents a tremendous amount of work. You'll notice that a huge number are in the north end of the ward that for decades hasn't had any traffic safety measures. We've been behind for decades, and I'm just really pleased. I want to thank my staff, Sahib Abdullahi and Patrick here for being this terrific partnership. Can't say enough about how grateful my community is and how important this level of government is for keeping people safe in this really real, measurable, life-changing way. Every time we prevent an injury and even death in our communities and improve quality of life in a way that's immeasurable. So thank you very much. And I'll move the recommendations in my letter.
Thank you.
Board.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. T 34.169, improving pedestrian safety at Turnberry Avenue and Alentejo Street. Councilor Bravo.
Recommendations in my letter.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.70, improving permit parking on Concord Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Recommendations in my letter.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.171, improving permit parking on Conway Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Recommendations in my letter.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.172, improving permit parking on Delaware Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move my recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.173, improving traffic calming measures on Blackthorn Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.174, installation of traffic calming measures on Concord Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move my recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.175, installation of traffic calming measures on Earls Court Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.176, installation of traffic calming measures on Ennerdale Road. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.177, installation of traffic calming measures on Gilbert Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.178, installation of traffic calming measures on Greenlaw Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.179, installation of traffic calming measures on Kirk Newton Road. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.180, installation of traffic calming measures on Margarita Street. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.181, installation of traffic calming measures on Meyer Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.182, installation of traffic calming measures on Pelham Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
In favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.183, installation of traffic calming measures on Rochdale Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.184, parking amendment on Wade Avenue. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.185, reopening and amending 2025.TE 25.42, accessible parking spaces. Motion to reopen. Opposed? Carried. Councilor Bravo, you want to move that item? All
Yes,
those in
please.
favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.186, safer streets for Davenport, reducing speed limits. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.187, through restriction at Bloor Street West and Pauline Avenue, Collegiate Road. Councilor Bravo.
Move recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.188, advancing parking and traffic amendments, speed reduction, and allowing for future speed humps on Briars Muse. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. You need to turn your camera on, unfortunately. Well,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought I was on.
okay. T
I'd like to
34.
move the recommendations in my letter. Thank you.
Okay, we move that. T 34.189, advancing parking and traffic amendments, speed reduction, and allowing for future speed humps on Inuzi Street. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter, please.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.190, continuing commitments to Liberty Village neighbors by keeping Metrolux Exhibition Station construction off at Stratton Avenue and neighborhood streets. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.191, Dundas Street West Parking Amendment. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter, please.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.192, Ordnance Street between Stratton Avenue and south end of Ordnance Street, traffic calming. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter,
Those in
please.
favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.193, traffic calming Denison Avenue between Queen Street West and Wolseley Street. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter, please.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.94, traffic calming Scadding Avenue between Princess Street and Han Place, and speed limit reduction on Scadding Avenue between Lower Sherburne Street and Hans Place. Deputy Mayor Malik.
I'd like to move the recommendations in my letter,
Those in
please.
favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
T 34.195, adding seating on streetscapes in Ward 11. Councilor Sachs, it's very broad.
Move approval.
Those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.196, annex intersection safety studies. Councilor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.97, Chin Radio Building Loading Zone. Councilor Sachs.
Move
All
approval.
those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.198, reappointment of board members on the Cecil's Community Center Water Management. Councilor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.199, Mount Pleasant Sidewalk Study. Councilor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. TE 34.200, reopening 2026 TE 31.32, 66 Spadina Avenue, encroachment appeals, walkway platform, and bollards.
Yes,
Motion to open. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I need to hold this item, please.
Pardon me?
I need to hold this
Okay,
item.
we're going to hold this item. T 34.201, Rowanwood, water main construction, temporary permit, parking on Mathersfields Drive and Chestnut Park. Councillor Sachs.
I move approval.
All those in favor, opposed, carried. T 34.202, seating at streetcar stops in Ward 11. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor, opposed, carried. T 34.203, Young Streetscape Study. Councillor Sachs.
Move approval.
All those in favor, opposed, carried. TE 34.204, appointments to the Central Edmonton Community Center Board of Management. Councillor Matlow. Okay, we'll hold that for Councillor Matlow. I don't know where he went to. Councillor Matlow. Okay. Items 205, 206, 207, 208, 209, 210, and 211 are Councillor Matlow, so I'm going to hold it for him. We'll move on to item T 34.212, Church Street and Wellington Street East Commercial Loading Zone. I'll move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. T 34.213, Colburn Street Temporary Two-Way Road Designation. I'll move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. T 34.214, Leader Lane Traffic and Parking Amendment. I'll move staff's recs on this item. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. TE 34.215, naming 144 Stevenson Avenue Park in honor of Jean Dumagala. Councillor Bradford. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. TE 34.216, 9 Silver Birch Avenue Residential Demolition Application. Councillor Bradford.
Yeah, staff recommendation 3, approval with conditions, please.
Okay, we'll post option 3. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. All right, that completes the rundown.
Now, how many are left now?
Well, that's
Just give us a sec.
a lot more.
That?
Yeah.
No, that was 216. What do we have?
We have to update the thing, so give us a few moments.
Okay, then we'll make a big announcement.
So I know there are many people here for Sneaky D, so I know that item's going to be withdrawn, right?
Yes.
Do we need to put it?
Yes, so Councillor Sachs.
Okay, so Councillor Sachs, you have a motion to move?
Yes, I do. I am very proud to be moving a motion to withdraw the Sneaky D's demolition and redevelopment from the Community Council agenda. When I approached Royal Bank, they agreed to confirm in writing that they did not support the application. Immediately after that, the applicant withdrew. I'm also proud to say that I have submitted an application to, I've submitted a motion to City Council directing our heritage staff to look very closely at whether Sneaky D's can be designated under the Ontario Heritage Act. And I thank my colleague, Councillor Matlow, for seconding this motion. We will have that at City Council in 3 weeks. I want to acknowledge that several of the activists who worked so hard on this are here in the room today. Couldn't have done this without you. Thank you to everyone who spoke up and stood up for Sneaky D's.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so all those in favor of the draw? You have a staff question? Okay. Well, I was going to, no, I'm going to, it's for withdrawal, right?
Yeah, the item has been
Item within withdrawal. Withdrawn.
Say that at East York Canada Day, I think Councillor Bradford would have seen at Coxwell and Cosburn, there were 3 young women with a big Save Sneaky D's signs in our Canada Day parade way up in East York. So that your reach was very, very.
Wonderful. All those in favor of withdrawal? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Okay. So we don't normally allow applauses, but I'll make an exception in this one instance. So the next item is item number 8, T34.8, 1730 Bloor Street West, zoning bylaw amendment. We do have speakers on this item. Tyler Greiner, are you here? Okay. And Charlie Smith.
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Sorry, who's here? Is it Tyler and Charlie?
Yes, Charlie Smith and Tyler Grenier.
Okay, so you're going to speak
Just myself.
Okay, let's go ahead. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of council. My name is Charlie Smith. I'm a registered professional planner with Bousfields on behalf of the agent for High Park Plaza Limited Partnership. In the interest of time, we have a very busy agenda. I'll keep my remarks brief. We're here to just echo the planning recommendation report for approval and are here to answer any questions about the application. It's a 25-story mixed-use transit-oriented development adjacent to Kiel subway station. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Seeing none. Councillor Perks?
Yeah, I'll move approval.
Okay,
Do you have an additional motion?
You have a motion, Councillor Perks?
Do I have a motion? Oh, yes, it's one of these. Yeah, so I have a motion.
We'll post it.
Have it up. Okay, so members, just so you know what we're doing, you'll recall at the last council meeting, we made amendments to the municipal code around parking exclusions for new developments. This brings that into line. This motion brings this report in line with what we did at council.
Okay, wonderful. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. TE 34.9, 2273, 2277, and 2279 Bloor Street West, zoning bylaw amendment for approval. We do have one speaker on this item, Mike Bisett. Three minutes.
Good morning to the chair and members of Community Council. My name is Mike Bisett with Bousfields. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. I again will be brief, just to note that we worked collaboratively with staff to actually reduce the height by 2 stories to a mid-rise typology along Bloor Street West. We're about 200 meters, just over 200 meters from Runnymede Station, and we support the staff recommendations. And with that, I'll just take any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Any questions with deputant? Seeing none, thank you. Councillor Perks?
I have an amendment.
Amendment. All those in favor?
This is the same as the last item, and just for absolute clarity, this excludes this building from the right to get on-street parking.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
T34.10, 1464 King Street West and 10 to 12 Maynard Avenue official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. We do have a few speakers on this item. Francesco Faiorani. 3 minutes. Make sure the green light's on.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Hi, good morning. I'm Francesco Fiorani. I'm the senior planner at Bruto Consulting. I'm here on behalf of my client, Karma Sonam Dargai Ling, the Tibetan Temple of Parkdale. I just wanted to start by thanking your staff who have been very diligent in helping us move through this very exciting and unique project for the past year and a half. Just wanted to keep it brief. I do have a presentation in case council wants to see it, but I wanted to say that I have reviewed the staff report and I agree with the recommendations contained in the report and the next steps to follow.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Deputant? Seeing none. Next person to speak is Carla Jennison. Okay, 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning. I understand this building proposal is going to sacrifice a great old silver maple tree. And I'd like to speak for the tree today. My name is Carla Jensen, and I live across the street from the proposed building site at Maynard and King Street West. Every morning I greet the big silver maple tree from my window, and every night I thank it for its curtains of foliage and for the shade it provides on summer days and the homes it provides for countless species. I understand that this tree has been deemed unwell and that it must be sacrificed in order to save the other trees on the property. I hope that it's not true. I doubt that it is, actually. This tree and all the other trees on the property seem in excellent health. So I would like to request an independent assessment as to the health of this tree. If it is indeed a healthy tree, I ask that you save this small piece of history and require the developers to work around the tree, doing no harm. There are other places in the world where this is done. And at 150 years old, I think it has earned the right to live and flourish. This is a native species and should be protected. I believe it also is the oldest tree on King Street. This great silver maple deserves a plaque at the very least and excellent care. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputant? No. Okay, thank you. Parth Shah, jazz hands, please. Parth, online.
Hello.
Parth? Yep, 3 minutes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Parth, and thank you for providing this space. I also currently live on this property as a tenant and have been living here since 4 years. And I also like to talk about the 150-year-old silver maple tree. It is likely the largest and the oldest tree on the King Street. I believe it is undeniably part of the rich history of the Parkdale village. It's a living, breathing Canadian heritage. As for the assessment done by the University of Toronto forest ecologist Eric Davies, currently this tree is in excellent health, and I quote him, "It is very vigorous." The trunk of this tree is likely the widest on the King Street. It takes 5 adults to join hands just to cover the whole trunk. Furthermore, it stands on the extreme outside corner of the property. I'm sure there are ways to do the redevelopment without killing this tree. As citizens of this great country, it is our duty to preserve this indispensable part of Toronto and Canada's heritage. It's a maple tree, it's a symbol of our country and a leaf on our flag. And I think we should do everything in our power to save this tree. I also would like to address the fact that in Buddhism, trees are considered living beings and holds great importance. So, yeah, I would like to request a reassessment on the health of this tree, which again has been proven to be very healthy, and it's a rich part of our history, and we should do everything in our power to try and save it, whether it is building around it or by any other means. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions with the applicant? Seeing none. Councillor Perks.
First of all, I do have an amendment on this one. It's the same amendment as the last two, which clarifies the parking exclusion for the site. Just very quickly, there is a long history on this application for some more housing and for the temple. And the applicants have worked incredibly closely with city staff and been very flexible. And it's been a long journey, but here we are at the end of the road. I wish it were possible to redevelop properties for good social purpose like this one without any impacts on the community, but sometimes there are impacts. The trees in question, our arborists have gone and looked. They're comfortable with the decision to remove them. I will say the applicant has brought forward many versions of their application over time in an effort to try to make it fit the site, and the current one really is the best. So I'm actually kind of proud to finally be able to move this and get ahead with this really exciting project that will mean a lot to Parkdale and to the Tibetan community in Parkdale.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item as amended. All in favor? It's carried. T 34.11. 1464 King Street West and 10 to 12 Maynard Avenue, rental housing demolition application. We do have speakers on this item. Francesca Fiorani.
Good morning again. So this part of the application has to do with the replacement of the existing 19 rental units. Just to make it short, all 19 units are going to be replaced as per city official plan policy, exact same size, same number of tenants, same number of rooms, in much improved units. They're actually going to be slightly larger than the existing units, which are currently very old. As you know, the existing building is aged. So all 19 tenants will be replaced with adequate units. They will be adequately compensated as per official plan policy, and we look forward to starting that process as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, no questions for the applicant. Councillor Perks.
I'll move approval of the staff recommendations.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, items T 34.12, 1497 and 1501 Queen Street West, and 89 and 91 BD Avenue, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. There are several speakers on this item. Melanie Joy, online.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Good morning. My name's Melanie Joy. I'm the executive lead of the Toronto Drop-In Network, which I know you're familiar with. But for those who aren't, we are a coalition of over 50 organizations that operate drop-in sites across the city of Toronto. Parkdale Activity and Recreation Center, the applicant, is a member of our network in good standing and is also an active member of the council-driven TSSS Drop-in Sector Stabilization Working Group, affirming Park's commitment to finding solutions to homelessness, housing precarity, and social isolation in Toronto. I'm here to express support of the recommendations put forward by the Director of Community Planning, which will help to move forward the Housing TO 2020 to 2030 Housing Action Plan, aiming to build 18,000 new affordable units. Here at the midway point of the Housing Action Plan calendar, less than half of the target number of units have been approved, even fewer constructed and occupied. Park's official plan and zoning bylaw amendment and demolition applications will increase the stock of such housing in Toronto by 87 units and include 54 replacement units for a total of 141 units. but we're here to talk about zoning changes. So amendments related to the height of the building are consistent with both the official plan and site and area specific plan 566. Changes to the laneway and garbage pickup will benefit all users by the transfer of a strip of land from park to the city. And lastly, the heritage facade will not only be maintained, but framed to honor the building's original structure and typology, while allowing for additional stories of affordable residential housing. Taking all of this into consideration, the Toronto Drop-In Network fully supports this application. Thank you.
Thank you. B. Marie. Line.
Hi, folks. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can. 3 minutes.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me today. I go by B, and I'm also here to express my full support for the application from Park to do the redevelopment. This is such an important step in preventing and reducing homelessness and making our city a better place to live for everybody. I'm a resident of Leslieville, and I also work as a communications officer for the Toronto Drop-In Network, who you just heard from, where I do really deeply meaningful community work with some of Toronto's most diverse and vulnerable folks. I also serve delicious pierogies at a family-run diner on the weekends in Leslieville. So I'm really active in my community, and I do a lot of volunteering, but I wouldn't be able to do any of that work if I didn't have stable housing. I got access to permanent housing in January of this year. I'm a survivor of intimate partner violence, and I am 3 years into my recovery journey. I was what's often called hidden homeless. So I lived on my backpack and I slept on couches and floors for 3 years. And people didn't know. This project could help other women just like me.
I'm sorry, B. My apologies to interrupt. We don't have quorum currently. So can the members online turn the cameras on or? Okay, sorry. Continue. My sincere apologies. You can start again if you like.
Oh, no, it's okay. I can keep going. Thank you for letting me know remotely what was going on. Yeah, like this project could help other women just like me access housing and move forward with their lives and be involved in their community. There's so many women and gender diverse people in our city who share a story just like mine. Unfortunately, it's not a unique story. The median age of death of an unhoused woman in our city is 36 years old, and I think that's really devastating. That's systemic failure, not individual. And I fully appreciate that one housing project will not end homelessness in Toronto, but it's a beginning of how we can propel forward together. So I ask you so deeply to support this application by Park. This project will directly increase access to deeply affordable and supportive housing, and it'll expand community spaces in a high needs neighborhood and provide integrated supports that improve long-term housing stability. And that's the dream, right? It will move us as a city in the right direction to prioritizing homelessness prevention. And I think, or I hope, that you and I share that vision for Toronto. Like, that's the city that I dream of for us, where everyone has a place to call home. So you as folks have the opportunity today to demonstrate what true leadership is, and that's prioritizing and championing for the people of Toronto. So I urge you to please support this application from Park and to also recommend its approval to City Council within the current council term. So thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Seeing none. Thank you so much. Andrew Peterson, online.
Unmute. Hey, hi there.
Yes, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Perfect. I see it on the clock. Hi, my name's Andrew Peterson. I'm a resident, so I live about a block and a half away from the Park site. And not to sort of establish it as some sort of big thing, but I've lived here for a while, so I've seen the changes in the neighborhood, and I've lived in close proximity to the site that we're talking about. At the beginning, I should have said good morning to Chair and to members of Toronto and East York Community Council. And I'm going to read off this piece of paper because I get nervous in these situations. I'm reading a letter that I sent to Gord Perks a couple months ago, and he was kind enough to speak to me on this issue as well. To the membership, we recognize the need for supportive and affordable housing and appreciate the important role Park has played in Parkdale for many years. The we in the note is my wife and I. We've both lived here for a while. We strongly support housing that allows people to remain connected to community, care, and support services, as our last two speakers have spoken about really well. Housing is a necessity and should be treated as a fundamental right. At the same time, we believe new supportive housing developments need to be carefully planned and appropriately scaled within their neighborhood's context, rather than simply maximized in height and density to possibly sort of fulfill the political moment. A more balanced approach would better support both future residents and the surrounding community and help ensure the project is sustainable, well-resourced, and successfully integrated into the neighborhood over the long term. Our concerns are primarily about the scale of the current proposal, moving from the existing 3-story building to 2 towers and maxing out or going beyond. I know that's the proposal, is to go beyond, and creating a 141 unit development feels significantly out of scale with the surrounding area and raises questions about density, traffic, strain on local infrastructure, and overall fit within the neighborhood context. I don't have the professional bona fides to sort of bring staff's judgment into question. But as a resident, I do live here, so I do see the impact that it has on the neighborhood. And I genuinely do worry that it will be beyond what that block can handle. Park is a block long, and so now it's proposing to be both 7 and 10 stories high and 2 towers, 140 units. It is a large increase, okay? There's questions I've got here about staffing and so on in the future, which I can't get into because I don't have time. And there's no outdoor space. I'm not going to read the rest. There was originally, as part of the original proposal, that didn't happen. There's no outdoor space attached to this. So I'm really concerned, and I'd like to reconsider.
Thank you.
There's my 3 minutes.
Any questions of Deputy? Seeing none, thank you. Victor Willis. Okay. 3 minutes. We can hear you. The green button should be on. Yeah. Green light should be on, sorry.
It is, thanks. So thank you, Chair, and members of the Community Council for the opportunity to provide some comments on this item. So I have a unique perspective on the proposed official plan amendment at 1497 and 1501 Queen Street West and 91 and 89 Beatty Avenue, and this proposal by the Parkdale Activity Recreation Centre. I'm the former executive director of Park. I'm an advisor, and on this project, I'm an advisor on this project, but I've also have the privilege of representing the Toronto Mental Health and Addiction Supportive Housing Network. While the specific planning context is local, the project goals have a much broader impact. First, I want to highlight the huge amount of work the Housing Secretariat did to help move this project forward. Similarly, the Housing Development Office provided essential guidance and assistance. And finally, thank you to the planning staff who worked in concert with the other city departments. The item would not have got here without everyone working together. So thank you for your city staff. This project, a complicated assembly of parcels of land, did not come to you today because of savvy planning. It wasn't pulled together to achieve a series of shiny and profitable condos, or the luxury hotel that the previous owner of the 1501 Queen Street West property had envisioned. These properties were gathered in response to an ever-increasing number of people living on the street or parks, or if they were lucky, a shelter bed. The Parkdale Activity Recreation Centre responded by acquiring properties so that people had a place to live. So this is one small intersection in a remarkable neighborhood within an enormous city that aspires to a livable place for all. The dozens of organizations in the supportive housing network have been doing similar work in every neighborhood and ward in Toronto for over 50 years. The network collectively owns, operates, and leases approximately 7,500 apartments in the city. Unfortunately, this is not nearly enough to respond to what citizens see every day, thousands of people without a place to live. Supportive housing is the solution for a sizable percentage of those who find themselves homeless. The city and this council are to be applauded for helping to achieve the goal of 65,000 units of affordable housing. We propose that supportive housing be specifically identified in this goal. The city received the Toronto Alliance to End Homelessness Supportive Housing Growth Plan in 2021. If fully implemented, there would be 9,000 units of supportive housing today. Our network members have hundreds of properties across the city that can be similarly rezoned as item TE 34.12. Together we can solve homelessness, but it requires an unwavering belief that everyone deserves a home. As a network member said yesterday on CBC's Metro Morning, if you don't want to see people living on the street, invite them in. Thank you.
Thank you. Good timing. Any questions for Deputy? Seeing none. Diane Chan McNally. Uh, 3 minutes.
Hello again, my name is Diane Chan McNally, as mentioned, and I am a longtime Parkdale High Park resident, community worker, as well as a housing advocate. And full disclosure, I have a long-standing relationship with the Parkdale Activity Recreation Center. It's where I landed as a placement student and subsequently fell in love with community work. In fact, the foundations of everything I learned as a community worker and most of the things that you probably know me for, I owe to the mentorship I received at Park. So I can unequivocally say that I have trust in their ongoing commitment to working alongside the communities that they serve because I've both witnessed and engaged in it firsthand. Beyond being mentored at Park, I also coordinated and prepared hundreds of meals at the Parkdale Meeting Place, a now defunded evening drop-in center previously located at Park. This is all to say that I know Park's space very well, their amenities like the back of my hand, and I know the community as well. Importantly, the community thrives not just because Park provides space and amenities, both supportive housing as well as a drop-in, but because of the grassroots way it continues to engage its members. Very, very few nonprofits can maintain a grassroots community-led vision for over 4 decades, and it's a major reason why I support the expansion of Park's housing portfolio at its primary location at 1497, 1501 Queen Street West. And what is being proposed is precisely the kind of investment that is urgently needed in Parkdale High Park and across Toronto. The proposal represents a significant but manageable expansion from 50 extant rental homes to a new 141-unit development with the right to return for current tenants. I stress manageable as someone who has worked in agencies with attached supportive housing. 141 units strikes a balance between expanding much-needed housing while ensuring adequate, individualized case management support and community connection can also be maintained. The proposed zoning amendment, which I realize is why we're actually here today, is appropriate to the location, the proposed number of units, and the proposed unit sizes to ensure dignified, modern facilities for my future neighbors. I also applaud the commensurate expansion of community space proposed as part of this redevelopment. As someone who has prepared, again, hundreds of meals a night in Park's drop-in kitchen, relocation of the kitchen to the basement in order to expand drop-in space is a welcome design change. And if we increase the number of residents on site, we should also increase communal amenities, like increased drop-in space to meet people's needs. And I was also someone who has coordinated services at the Toronto Drop-in Network. We just heard from them for over 4 years. Drop-in programs are an evidence-based intervention which support people to remain food secure and housed in these new proposed units. Ensuring the drop-in is not only maintained but also expanded will have positive impacts on future residents' ability to stay healthy and happy in their new housing. As well, this is an odd one, but changing how garbage will be picked up, that is huge. I used to haul out the garbage bins out to the front on Queen Street, and it is highly disruptive to everyone in the neighborhood. Changing that so it's no longer on the street front is an excellent, excellent change. So personally, I want to commend Park for its leadership and decades-long commitment to supporting neighbors and friends in my community. And the thoughtful proposal associated with the applications we are deliberating on today shows us how we can fulfill the human right to housing in our city. So I urge you, the members of the Toronto and East York Community Council, to support these applications and recommend their approval at City Council. Sorry, it was rushed.
That's all right. My apologies. Any questions, Deputy? Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Dan Siljak. Okay, 3 minutes.
Hello all, I'll keep this short as I've already attended and spoken at 2 community meetings in support about this file, and I really wish it wasn't so hard to get this kind of housing approved. I am obviously speaking in strong support of this item. This proposed development and its amendment has satisfied technical and heritage criteria for such a zoning amendment, and I would say, at risk of speculating, any hesitation around its approval as it relates to zoning and built form probably has a lot more to do with the imagined future occupants. That is not how any city should govern, ever, but especially not in this climate of housing precarity and crisis. If the committee had the means to approve a project with prejudice to signal this to the public with clarity and emphasis, I would ask you to all exercise that option. But as it stands, a normal day-to-day approval is just fine. Finally, I will also note that there is a mayoral candidate on this committee who is present today. Seeing as the housing crisis is a citywide issue, those of us actually committed to solving that problem will be paying extra attention to his vote on this file and others like it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputy? Seeing none, thank you. Debbie King. Okay, 3 minutes.
Good morning, committee members. It's a pleasure to be here speaking in support of the recommendations from community planning on this item. I'm Debbie King. I'm a resident of South Parkdale and the elected school board trustee for the ward. I'm offering brief comments in support today based on my perspective as a resident who has day-to-day presence in the neighborhood, somebody who's regularly in conversation with neighbors, and somebody who was present at the consultation in May. There is clearly a growing and highly visible need among adults that are experiencing homelessness, living with severe mental health or addiction issues, who would benefit greatly from more stability and well-being in their lives. We see that, of course, in many parts of the city, but we see it acutely in the Parkdale neighborhood, which is a highly walkable neighborhood where families are regularly coming to and from the grocery store, maybe to the library with their children, or to a local shop to meet a friend for coffee or for dinner. Because of that high visibility, we are also seeing that elicit a high volume of community response. So some of what we've heard is very deep concern for the well-being and the human rights of our unhoused neighbors. We've also heard feedback about the life-changing work that Park does, and we are still hearing greater work needed to overcome the perceptions and the myths about supportive housing and the impacts that this type of proposal would have, the type of proposal that you're considering today. This particular development responds with significant benefits. You can read many of those in the submissions from the 9 organizations that are on file, but 3 that stand out and are worth highlighting are the benefit of the increase of housing supply in a walkable and service-rich neighborhood, the increased programming and community space that will grant staff greater ability to do their important work, and the improvements to the amenity space and operational functionality, which will help increase the dignity of the service users. It's also my understanding that there is a promise here not only for expansion of citywide service, but also the possibility to serve particular local community, which would be an important part of the overall revitalization of the Queen West neighborhood. So overall, this is a positive development, and where there are concerns or questions about previous or future operation of the site, I would suggest that there is an importance to acknowledge that and an opportunity to address that moving forward without hindering the progress of this approval stage. Park has very strong local support, as you've heard, and I encourage you to add yours with your approval and your vote today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the deputant? Seeing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peter Martin. Okay, 3 minutes.
Since this one is on, I'll just sit here. So hello, everyone. I'm here with a number of different hats. I'm the Housing Solutions Manager for the Toronto Alliance to End Homelessness. And in that capacity, I'd like to applaud, as has already been said, the work of the Housing Secretariat and Development Review Department and all the staff who work so hard to get this to this community council so that this project can move forward. Under the past number of mayors, the priority in terms of housing has not really been on supportive and deeply affordable housing. And under this mayor, there's been a significant increase in focus on that type of housing, which we definitely need in the city, throughout the city. And I'd just like to say that it's been really gratifying to see the change in terms of how the city has put its resources around helping get supportive and deeply affordable housing built, including things like city-initiated zoning bylaw amendments, which make a big difference to the cost and the speed of these developments. So thank you to all of the city staff who have worked on files like this. Another one of my hats is the chair of the Property Committee at Park. And with regard to that, I'd like to point out that as has been spoken to already, 1501 Queen Street West was on the market. It was looking as if it was going to go the way of the Queen Street Hotel in terms of becoming a condominium, not helping certain segments of the population. But Mura was the Mura application process allowed Park to purchase that property and start to improve the quality of life for the residents in there. The units inside are so small that two of them, Park decided, could not be anymore occupied by humans. One of the great things about this development is all of the people currently living in that building will ultimately end up with better apartments, either one bedroom or better studio apartments. And finally, I'd like to speak with, from a personal perspective. I used to be homeless, and Park was the place I went to for the drop-in services. We're focusing on housing a lot, but the drop-in services are equally important. Park, in many ways, saved my life. It gave me that space and support I needed to become a productive member of society again. And the development itself on the drop-in side will also make a significant difference to the quality of life of people in Toronto, especially Parkdale, who are homeless and need support to get off the streets and get into housing. And if there are no questions, those are my submissions.
Thank you. Any questions with the deputant? Seeing none. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason Miles, online.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So yeah, my name is Jason Miles, and I'm here to speak today in favor of this proposal going through as supported. As someone who's previously lived a significant amount of time homeless, suffering from addiction, suffering from various mental health disorders, physical disorders, I can speak firsthand to the power of change that is possible when you provide somebody housing and stability. And it's not just for me, it's not just about having, gotten a unit and gotten myself off the street, but it's really it's really made a big impact on my ability to live a meaningful life again. And in the short year and a half that I've been housed, I've been able to return to school. I'm currently about 3 weeks away from getting my high school diploma after 25 years of not having it. I'm now 2.5 years clean and sober from my addictions. My mental health disorders are being managed, and I have access to therapy, and I have access to medications, and that allows me to be a productive member of my community again. So it's not just about getting people off the street and giving them a unit, but it's about really, we're talking about changing lives here. And, I think the size and the scale of this project are sized appropriately. We find ourselves in a devastating housing crisis right now. And we're talking about the placement of this project site on a busy transit corridor already, with access to, with streetcar access and ready access to the subway station. We have healthcare. We have St. Joseph's nearby. We have a very walkable community where everybody needs is within reach. And we're talking about, a service provider that has a long history of providing great service and great care to the community already. And they're already in place to do that. So we're talking about giving them the opportunity to continue on a larger scale what they've already been doing for a long time, for years. I know there's been some pushback a little bit. Some residents have been concerned with the size and scale and, how many people this is going to bring into the community. We're already here. Like, if you look at the numbers that Parkdale Queen West Community Health Center, West Neighborhood House, the Park current drop-in network, we're already supporting many, many more people than we're talking about actually housing here. And that's on an everyday basis. So the people are already in the community. All we're talking about now is finally giving them a place and spending the money on getting people back on their feet again, rather than continuing to pour money deeper into a crisis and not making any meaningful change. So
thank you.
With that, I would just like to state my approval for this and say thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Deputy? Seeing none. Councillor Perks.
Thank you. First, I have to move the same motion to exclude the parking and bring it in line with the new regulations we have. There? Okay. I'm just going to speak for a moment on this. So I've been reflecting lately on Toronto East York Community Council and other things that I'm involved with here. This community council, more than any other governing body in North America, over the last 20 years, has been caught in a cycle established by Ontario planning law of building too much. What?
Sorry, we have one more speaker.
Oh, not listed. Okay. I'll say it later.
It's not on my...
Please, what's the name?
It's not on my list.
No, I'm sorry. They just,
Vanessa, okay. 3 minutes, go ahead.
My name is Vanessa Raponi, and I'm a resident of Ward 4, Parkdale High Park. My deputation is to support the proposal of the bylaw adjustment to build the new 7- and 10-story building on Queen Street using land already owned by the applicant. The Parkdale Activity Recreation Center has supported people living with mental health and addiction challenges in Parkdale for decades. My father, Larry Raponi, experienced homelessness for 10 years on the streets of Toronto. Services like Park could have helped to provide the essential support needed to address his mental health and addiction issues, which may have been able to prevent the loss of both of his legs from gangrene and frostbite and his eventual death, all of which are a direct result from his experience living on the streets of Toronto, particularly through harsh winters. Addressing the homelessness crisis with services like Park is providing a life or death resolution. It's important for the public to understand in this application that the original building was retrofitted to accommodate the needs of Park. It wasn't originally intentionally designed to be utilized for the needs of Park activities. With the new adjustments, human-centered design has been intentionally allowing Park to have agency and control over addressing community and neighborhood concerns related to garbage collection through the expanded back laneway and expanded drop-in spaces to give folks more space to gather within the facility. There was also considerable concern expressed regarding the character of Parkdale being maintained at the community consultation in May. The preservation of the historical facade demonstrates Park's commitment to execute considerably more challenging architectural and engineering work to explicitly preserve said community character. Ultimately, it comes down to 3 things. First, we need to build more housing. Over 30,000 people are currently on the affordable housing waitlist, and the number keeps growing. Programs like MIRA help preserve existing affordable housing, but we also need new, deeply affordable and supportive housing across the city. Second, partnerships matter. Organizations like Park are doing critical work that government cannot tackle alone.
If we want to address homelessness, healthcare strain, and the toxic drug crisis, we need coordinated solutions. And third, every part of Toronto needs to contribute. Supportive and affordable housing cannot exist in only a handful of neighborhoods. Parkdale has carried a large share of the responsibility for decades, and we must advocate for a city where every community helps support our neighbors in need. Thank you for your consideration, and know that you're saving lives like Larry's by approving this application.
Thank you. Any questions of deputants? Seeing none. Councillor Perks, you're up again.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll remove that motion.
Okay.
Okay. As I was saying, so I've been a member of this community council for about 20 years, and during that time, this community council has heard more deputations on building too much of the wrong thing and not enough of the right thing. We have approved more condominium units than any other local government on the continent. That's what we've been doing for the last 20 years. And where has that got us? Well, right now we're in the middle of a real estate bust. People are not building the things that we have approved in the past. And we have on any given night somewhere north of 12,000 people homeless in the city of Toronto. The way Canada, Ontario, and unfortunately the city of Toronto have approached housing over the last 30, 40 years has been an unmitigated disaster. It's failed everyone. It's made some people incredibly rich, but it's failed the communities we live in. And the people of Parkdale have fought back against that. You might recall several years ago, we did a little pilot. It was called the Parkdale Pilot, to put aside some money in the city budget to help communities purchase properties to keep affordable housing in neighborhoods. It was very successful, and we invented a citywide program called MIRA, Multi-Unit Residential Acquisition Program. Part of the properties that we're considering for rezoning here today was purchased using that. It's been such a successful program that the federal government is looking at a way to make it a national-wide program. That's the way things should work. It's the way I wish things had worked for the last 20 years. Because it sets up moments like this, moments of success, where in the past, development was led by people with wealth seeking a return on their investment, coming in, getting a rezoning, and then handing the property off to a community or to a condominium corporation and taking their money and turning the next property into profit. City's sort of basically been a growth machine for turning wealth into wealth, not turning housing into health. And here, the Parkdale Activity Recreation Center, which I want to point out is a member-led organization, meaning the relationship isn't between a board of directors or a staff and some clients, but the other way around. It's the people who are receiving help from Park are the leaders at Park. It's a perfect metaphor for what we're doing today. We're turning the way we approach housing upside down and saying community-led approvals are what we want. That the people who need help are actually leading the decision for what kind of a neighborhood we build, for when it's appropriate to redevelop a property, for who benefits from the work we're doing here at City Hall. I really hope that over the next 20 years, this kind of project becomes the norm and the casino chip commodity condo withers away. This is the way cities should be built. And frankly, today, I'm more proud than I ever have been as a member of this council. And I just want to say to those of you representing other wards, the whole city needs to be a little bit more like Parkdale.
Okay, jazz hands, please, jazz hands.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to say
I'd like a recorded vote on the item as amended.
Okay.
And I just want to say a couple of minutes.
Go ahead, Councillor Bravo.
Speaker. Thank
And
you,
I'd like
Chair.
to speak after as well, sorry.
So I think the important conversation that we're having here is really about land use. And land use has, for, as Councillor Perks was saying, for decades, well, for forever, been really about turning profit. And decisions were made around the economy in the mid-90s that we're paying for today. All of the harm, all of the heartbreak, homelessness, and the ways that people are made more ill because of being exposed and not having the support that they need is the reality that we're living right now. But land use is a foundational piece for the an economy that's fair, and we have done in the City of Toronto, particularly in the last few years in this term, tremendous work by decommodifying some of that land and housing and putting it back into social ownership. And this is what this represents, as opposed to the enriching of one particular class, and also turning the land that is in the City of Toronto into a stock market. That's what housing has been. We're talking about the greatest prescription for social and economic health, which is a roof over everyone's head. In addition, a roof that has the supports that people need to live, to exist, and to thrive. I want to thank everyone that spoke today, that made really real why this project is so urgent, and just what Parkdale knows about how to make the world better, and to thank Parkdale and all of the people that are here to speak as neighbors about welcoming more neighbors. And finally, I just want to say, there are a couple of things here. A Parkdale Activity Recreation Center represents another dimension about how we make the economy more fair, and that's the people that are most impacted are at the center of Park's work. Victor Willis said to me about I'd say about 15 years ago that he was trying to make himself irrelevant. And you can see now that the leadership of Park is actually people who have been members of Park. And I think that's really valuable and an example for all of us. I also want to mention that today is, I think, Councillor Prick's last community council meeting. And I can't imagine a better way to finish decades of service and leadership to ensure that we're making the best possible land use planning decisions to the benefit of everyone. And just want to thank him as well.
Thank you, Councillor Bravo. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I really want to echo what Councillor Bravo said, and to really uplift Councillor Perks's words. I want to first start off just echoing the tremendous amount of thanks to Parkdale residents, and particularly the leadership of Park. I got to know Park through my previous work and role, strengthening movements for decent work and a fair economy. And Park over and over again set an example, not just in the City of Toronto or in Ontario, but across the country, for how that looks, how that is done, and the immense partnerships and champions that are required to make that happen. And of course, the City of Toronto, community organizations, but a critical piece of that, and that is so important for us here in our work, is elected representatives who are alongside in that innovative policy, in setting the bar higher and differently, and showing what's possible. And I really do want to extend an enormous amount of gratitude to Councillor Perks for the leadership on this, and on so many of the initiatives that we are proud of in the City of Toronto that have innovated on how we actually make housing as a right and as a human right, something that is real in our city and in our communities. The multi-unit residential acquisition program is one of the, I think, brightest and most innovative policies that we have put forward as a city, and it is so encouraging and heartening to see that is being recognized right across jurisdictions for what it is. It was one of the programs that when I came into this role, it was a commitment to fight tooth and nail to make sure that that was preserved and strengthened. And thanks to the leadership and the work of our mayor and our communities, that we've been able to do that, make historic investments, and see projects like this coming forward and becoming a reality through those efforts over decades, but also using innovative policy tools and showing what the city can do when it comes to this. That's alongside our public builder model. That's alongside using our city land in ways that continue to demonstrate that that housing and the accessibility, affordability, and the right to housing is something that we can not just talk about, that we can do. So thank you again, Councillor Perks, for your leadership. Thank you to the Parkdale community. Thank you to the leadership at Park. Thank you to all the members. And I do agree. I do think there's so much that we can learn from all of you, and excited to continue to take that lesson, that learning, and that example to every part of our city.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Malik. Recorded vote on the item?
So I can vote on the motion first?
Sorry, vote on the motion amendment and then the main item. Okay, yeah. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Recorded vote on the main item?
As item is amended.
Item is amended.
All those in favor of the item as amended? Councillor Matlow, Councillor Perks, Councillor Bravo, Councillor Sachs, Deputy Mayor Malik, Councillor Moyes, and Councillor Bradford. That's unanimous.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Jazz hands, please. Jazz hands. Okay. The next item is T 4.13, 1497 to 1501 Queen Street West and 89 to 91 Beatty Avenue rental housing demolition application. We do have one speaker on the item, Peter Martin. Peter Martin. Going once, going twice. Peter Martin. Okay. Councillor Perks.
Sorry.
Item 13.
Yeah. I'll move approval.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.14, 1497 and 1501 Queen Street West, alterations to designated heritage properties and demolition of heritage attributes on a designated heritage property under Section 33 and Section 34(1) of the Ontario Heritage Act, and authority to enter into a heritage easement agreement. There are no speakers on the item. Councillor Perks.
I'll move approval.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. T 34.15, 1167 to 1175 Laurel Street West, 34 to 42 Brock Crescent, and 90 Croatia Street, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. There are speakers in the item. Larissa Smith and Haley McWilliam. Is that you? Okay, go ahead, 3 minutes.
Morning. Good morning, Chair and members of Community Council. My name is Larissa Smith, and I'm here on behalf of Safe Haven. I want to begin by expressing our sincere gratitude to City Planning staff and the Housing Secretariat who have supported this application through the priority redevelopment stream. Their work has been thoughtful, responsive, and deeply appreciated. The expedited process has made a meaningful difference for Safe Haven. It has allowed our project to progress more quickly so that we can create much needed additional capacity for some of the city's most vulnerable children, youth, and adults even sooner. Safe Haven has been part of this community for over 3 decades, providing highly specialized care to individuals with medical complexities and developmental disabilities. The redevelopment of our Bloor Street site is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to expand that mission, creating a purpose-built hub that brings together specialized care, supportive living, affordable housing, community programming, and accessible therapeutic space all under one roof. I want to thank Councillor Bravo for her ongoing support of this project, as well as Mayor Chow and members of City Council for recognizing its importance. Earlier this year, Council waived the planning application fees for this redevelopment, saving Safe Haven approximately $200,000. For a nonprofit organization, this is incredibly meaningful. Those dollars can now be redirected back into the project and into the sports, spaces, and services that will directly benefit medically complex children, adults, and their families. We're also very grateful to welcome Mayor Chow to Safe Haven last week. Her visit gave her the opportunity to meet some of the clients who will directly benefit from this redevelopment, and we deeply appreciated the time and care that she took to understand the needs and the impact this project will have. This new building will create a place where some of the most vulnerable people in our city can receive the care they need, live with dignity, and remain connected to community. On behalf of Safe Haven, thank you to city staff, the Housing Secretariat, Councillor Bravo, Mayor Chow, and Council for helping move this vision forward. We are very grateful for your support and respectfully ask that you support the staff recommendations today. Myself and Haley McWilliam from Bousfields are happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputant? Seeing none, thank you. Councillor Bravo.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank Safe Haven for being here and for being such a visionary organization that has managed to attract provincial funding for this project. That's what's allowing it to move forward, and the City of Toronto has played its part. I'm delighted that Mayor Chow was able to visit Safe Haven. I've had a couple of opportunities to be there myself, and it's an organization that's leading in Ontario to take care of some of our most vulnerable residents. Thank you for your work, and I am so happy to move the recommendations.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. The next item is TE 34.16, 1280 to 1286 College Street, Official Plan and Zoning Bylaw Amendment. We do have speakers on this item. Severiano D. Silva, online. Okay, 3 minutes. Go ahead. Sorry, we have problems hearing you.
My name is Severiano De Silva.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Yeah. And I'm the owner of 256-258 Lansdowne Avenue. First, this proposal of 9-story building will block the morning sun from my property. And I will say again that the sun is a God-given thing, and no one should be allowed to block the sun from others. Second, this proposal building doesn't fit the character of this neighborhood. The area is surrounded by single-family homes. Third, parking is already insufficient in the area. For these reasons, I am totally against the project, and so are my tenants. I also disagree with zoning change. I would also like to share a short video to demonstrate the issue with the sun.
We lose him? Okay, Mr. De Silva. You should be able to share at this time. Mr. De Silva?
Yes. 1 second.
Yeah, we only have 1 minute left.
Okay. There, can I do this?
Okay, we can see your video.
My name is Severiano Da Silva, and I am the owner of the building that we're seeing right now, 256-258 Lansdowne Avenue. And you could see the sun in the morning. It's getting through, and it's about 7:30 in the morning. Now I'm gonna go on the opposite side towards my building to watch the sun rising from where they proposed the 8-story high building. So that's where they proposed the 8-story high building, and you could see the sun. It's about 7:30, and you could see the sun rising over there. And imagine if it was an 8-story high building.
Okay, thank you.
My building here will never see the sun in the morning.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the deputant? Seeing none. Thank you very much. Catherine Krug, are you here? 3 minutes, please. Online.
Okay. Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning to the chair and members of Community Council. My name is Catherine Krug, and I'm a development manager with Collective Marquis. And I'm
Sorry,
here.
one moment. We need members to turn on their video online. Okay, now we have quorum. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'll start again. Good morning to the chair and members of Community Council. My name is Catherine Krug, and I'm a development manager with Collective Marquis. This project at 1286 College represents one of several missing middle rental mass timber projects that our company is currently advancing. And so on this application, I would like to thank staff at Priority Development Review Team for working collaboratively and thoughtfully and helpfully with us throughout this process, and for also advancing their review during this incredibly busy period, and also for the supportive report that we have today. I'd also like to thank Councillor Bravo and their office for working collaboratively with us on this application, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the deputant? Seeing none, Councillor Bravo, go ahead. Councillor Bravo? So you're mute.
Apologies. I'd like to move the recommendations.
Okay. Okay, we have an amendment for your permanent parking. Post it online, please.
And yes, I have an amendment to exclude this project from on-street permanent parking, as this area is already oversubscribed.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Item is amended. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next item is TE 34.17, Chinatown Tomorrow Planning Initiative, final report. We have speakers on this item. Linda Zhang, are you here? Okay, 3 minutes, please. Make sure the green light's on.
Hello, my name is Linda Zhang. I'm an architect, professor at the University of Waterloo, a member of the Chinatown Advocacy Network, and a research advisor with the Toronto Chinatown Land Trust. Over the last decade, I've been pulling this neighborhood's history from your own archives at the City of Toronto Archives, and what I want to share here today is what we found. This is not new, what's in front of you here today, and we are at risk of repeating history. The planning void that Chinatown is in is not an accident. In 1947, this council moved to expropriate 2/3 of Chinatown to build the city hall we are meeting in today. In 1952, Old Chinatown was designated a redevelopment area for urban renewal, and in 1967, 2 years after City Hall opened, the Development Commissioner recommended clearing the remaining 1/3 of Old Chinatown so that, and I quote, the City Hall could be seen against a backdrop of worthy buildings, of which Chinatown was not deemed to be. Today, nearly every surrounding neighborhood to Chinatown West has formal planning protections. Chinatown has none. Your own study documented the impact of this. Chinatown West has lost 31.4% of retail business since 2011. This is nearly 3 times the citywide rate. Today, we are here not only to ask for planning protection, but also for cultural redress for the long legacy of Chinese exclusion in this country and the specific expropriation of Chinatown in this city. In 1969, the Save Chinatown Committee presented 7 demands: a guide plan, affordable housing, firm reassurance against displacement, community control over planning. Do these sound familiar? 57 years later, these are the same demands 130 community members brought forward to this council on April 1st. In 1980, this council put forward real policy, specific housing targets, a density bonus mechanism that would bind building height to affordable housing delivery, specific, numbered, and binding. I want to draw your attention to the verbs in the current Chinatown planning framework for contrast. Density increase gets shall. The only thing that generates revenue is binding. Meanwhile, everything community asks for is aspirational. Affordable housing gets encouraged, community benefits should be prioritized, and public space is an opportunity. In 1980, unfortunately, those binding mechanisms were struck before the vote passed. So all that survived was the recognition and encouragement of Chinese motifs. And this is what we are at risk of again today. The Save Chinatown Committee also wrote in 1969, "We have been given firm reassurances by the city in the past, only to find that they did not materialize." That describes 1980 and will describe today if this framework moves forward without enforceable tools.
Ms. Zhang, I am so sorry. We don't have quorum, and because it's a statutory item, we must have quorum. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll give you a few more. I'll give you another minute. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you want me to restart? Or?
No,
okay.
You can resume. I'll give you time to finish.
So what I'm asking council to do today is not to only adopt a framework, but to actually give city staff directive. The city planning, community planning, social development, finance and administration, heritage staff, and economic development and cultural divisions, they all have tools. None of them have been directed them to use them or to coordinate together to use them for this neighborhood. Staff cannot go beyond what the council empowers them to do. So this is a call to action for this council to actually give them the mandate for a secondary plan, for a CIP, for a CDP, a heritage district study, and anti-displacement policy framework. And I've also submitted written comments detailing further tools that your staff already has access for based on how we've seen them used in other neighborhoods in Toronto already. And so today I'm asking you to finally make good on the promises from the city since 1969 to our ancestors who were in this room with you before to actually bring planning protections to Chinatown. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you have any questions for the deputant? Seeing none.
I do.
Go ahead,
Mr.
Councilor
Chair.
Sachs. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much just thank you for your deputation. Just want to make sure that you know that some of the things you've asked for, we have already done. Council has already
Ask
given.
her question, Councilor Sachs.
I'll say, are you aware of the instructions that council has already given staff relating to the cultural heritage plan, relating to the CIP, relating to the cultural district study? Are you aware we've already given those instructions?
I've just spoken with your staff member a few minutes before this, so I was very happy to see that funding will potentially be going through in a cultural district study. I am aware that the CIP is still under budget review in 2027, so that is not something that will be coming soon. And one of my concerns is that the speed at which we are experiencing displacement in the neighborhood, as we've seen in the study, is currently not being matched by the processes and the directives being given. And so I'm excited to see directive and priority being given here and continuing to work together to see how we can push this forward in a time frame that is addressing the real needs of the neighborhood.
Well, that's absolutely fair. Would you like me to again get council to formally ask the mayor to consider allocating funding to the CIP for the Chinatown Cultural District?
That would be greatly appreciated, yes.
Okay, we'll do it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That could be a motion, but thank you very much. Any other questions?
It is a motion.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anson Neg, NG. Three minutes, please.
Hello? Oh, wow. Okay. Dear councillors and city staff, my name is Anson Ng. I spoke here in April on Chinatown, and I'm here again today. I am a visual artist and community member in Toronto's Chinatown. I grew up in a restaurant around Spadina and Dundas, and I have visited and painted in Chinatowns across Canada. We are all struggling with displacement. While the West Chinatown Planning Framework falls short, it does recognize Chinatown's cultural, social, and economic life on city's official planning record with clear physical boundaries. Recognition is not the same as protection. I repeat, recognition is not the same as protection. This is not the first time Chinatown has been endangered by planning decisions. Toronto's original Chinatown was demolished in 1960s to make way for the city hall we are in now. We are witnessing these conditions for displacement again in real time. Today, the major districts immediately surrounding Chinatown has received stronger formal planning tools, while Chinatown, the only neighborhood in the area that has been displaced, has gone roughly 70 years without the same level of planning care. I urge City Council to give city staff clear direction on 5 points. Give directive to city planning to upgrade the West Planning Framework into a secondary plan, as the U of T, University of Toronto has, with enforceable anti-displacement policies using binding language like shall, not encourage. Give directive to city planning and heritage planning to initiate a heritage conservation district study with the seriousness already granted to Kensington Market and Queen Street West, while protecting Chinatown's full cultural fabric. 3, give directive to community planning to establish a Chinatown Community Improvement Plan aimed at protecting and expanding small businesses. This could include dedicated funding grants to qualifying legacy businesses, incentive for landlords to maintain affordable commercial rent, and support for tenant community infrastructure and community stewarded spaces. 4, give directive to social development, finance and administration, economic development and culture, and city planning to establish an interdivisional community development plan for Chinatown, with the same coordinated planning attention given to the Health Science District and Gene and Finch. Give directive, this is the last one, give directive to develop citywide anti-displacement strategy, designated cultural district at risk for gentrification and loss, including Little Jamaica, Church, Wellesley Village, and our West Chinatown. As we all know, our Toronto is already a world-class cultural city. In order to keep it that way, we need council to direct city staff to support us.
Thank you.
We start here.
Any questions of the deputant? Seeing none, thank you. Next up is Dan Seljak. 3 minutes.
All right, oops. Thank you. In university, I did a project where I tracked a handful of newly arrived Chinese immigrants on a stretch of York between Richmond and Queen using census data from 1911 and the Fire Atlas data. Reviewing that census data, I was able to learn a lot about these 50 individuals who were housed in just 5 buildings, who, using either explicit information, like what they did for a living, to what I could infer from the carelessness of those records and the occasional inclusion of racial slurs. The ability of new arrivals like them, as well as the ability of those before and after to form community and a lasting legacy despite these conditions, is incredible. So I'm heartened to see that same spirit continue to this day, whether it's my step-grandparents who live among community in their retirement in today's West Chinatown after arriving here from China decades ago, my contemporaries like Henia and Chi from the Land Trust, who have built amazing community organizations that keep that spirit alive, and the next generation of community activists like my new friend Lily, who's here today, who was part of the Chinatown Land Trust, but who also just landed a blow against cultural displacement this week as an integral part of our successful Safe Sneaky D's movement. That is why I'm speaking today in favor of integrating the community's feedback. If this plan must pass in its current iteration, I hope the councillors here and also on the larger council, especially those of you who are here after the election, strongly consider how these demands can be integrated post-plan implementation to mitigate the harms to the community that they have noted. I recently was made aware SACS's staff is already working to address some of those concerns, but I cannot speak with confidence if they meet this community's particular demands. The piece I can speak to most confidently as the co-lead on a project called the Coalition for Responsible Community Development is the demand or the ask for a community development plan. This is a model that has great success when implemented elsewhere and gives communities a great deal of agency when determining their own growth, having benefits towards economic, health, cultural, and social elements of their communities. We are looking to see this expanded across the city and strongly support what they are trying to do here in the specific. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputy? Seeing none.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Dan, thank you for your deputation. You're aware that council in the cultural districts matter has already given staff instructions to develop a community improvement plan for West Chinatown Cultural District, correct?
Yes, and I think what we're looking for in terms of community development plans is something a little more community driven. I can get into the specifics with you another time about that. We do have a bunch of material that we're putting together about kind of the implementation of community development plans across the city. But I do think that the city is working with the tools that it currently has to meet these demands the best it can. And I think there is an opportunity to maybe tweak and iterate in the future. So again, while I'm aware that there are all sorts of ways that staff are trying to meet these demands, I think there are also exciting opportunities to meet the community's asks in a way that's a win-win-win for everyone.
Right. So you already mentioned we have authority under the Planning Act to adopt a community improvement plan. We don't have authority under the Planning Act to do what you've described as a community development plan, right? That's not an authority we now have.
That's right. So what I'm saying is if this is going to pass the way that it does, and the tools that we have currently available to us might be a little imperfect in meeting this community's needs, I am hoping in the future, whether it's at the next council meeting or, like I said, those of you who are still here in the next iteration of council after the election, can just look at other tools available to you to actually mitigate the impacts that they've noted. So okay. That's beyond what is happening today. I know today is going to happen, or likely is to happen. So I'm just strongly suggesting people look at it again later.
Okay, well, we've been looking at it intensely, glad to look at it again, and I do invite you to come and talk to me about your ideas. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Gian Pileri. Are you here? 3 minutes, please.
Good morning, Chair and members of Community Council. My name is Gian Pileri, and I'm a resident of Ward 11. I'm speaking in support of this item. And for transparency, I'm also a candidate for Toronto City Council in Ward 11, University Rosedale. This item matters because Chinatown is not just a planning district, it's a cultural, economic, and social anchor for Toronto. The framework gets many things right. It recognizes investment without displacement, the need to support small businesses, affordable housing, public realm improvements, cultural infrastructure, and the preservation of Chinatown's identity. But the key issue now is implementation. The report says the framework will guide future community investments, and that is its objectives will be implemented through future capital investment and development. At the same time, the report says there are no financial implications in the current or future budget years. That may be technically true for adopting the report today, but it cannot become the long-term approach. A framework without a funded implementation path risks becoming another document that describes community priorities while leaving residents, seniors, tenants, workers, business owners, and community organizations to carry the burden themselves. So I'm asking Council to adopt the recommendations, but also to strengthen the follow-through. First, create a public implementation tracker. Residents should be able to see what is funded, what division is responsible, what the timeline is, and what is delayed. Second, bring back a costed implementation plan connected to the capital budget, the cultural district program, public realm work, affordable housing tools, and community benefit mechanisms. Third, apply the anti-displacement lens directly to development review. That means no net loss of rental housing, strong tenant relocation expectations, protection for affordable and multi-generational housing, and serious attention to whether displaced small businesses can return to spaces that are similar in size, function, and rent. Fourth, continue community governance after this report is adopted. Chinatown should not only be consulted. The community should have an ongoing role in shaping implementation with language access and meaningful participation from residents, seniors, youth, tenants, small businesses, workers, family associations, and community organizations. Finally, the city should not lose the broader historical work from the consultation process. Chinatown's heritage is not only in buildings, it is in people, institutions, language, food, science, services, public life, and networks of care. I support the item, but adoption should be the beginning of the public implementation process, not the end of a planning study. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputant? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl Case.
She wants to be removed.
Oh, wants to be, okay, wants to be removed, all right. She wants to be removed. That was a request she made. She wanted to be removed. Councilor Sachs.
Yes, thank you very much. Our question to staff, maybe I guess to planning staff. I know that we've spent a lot of time reviewing the requests that came from the community that we've heard this morning. Can you just walk us quickly through what you can and cannot do under today's Planning Act in relation to the requests that we have, and what are the benefits of moving ahead with this framework today?
Through the chair, we're recommending a planning framework be brought forward to considered by council for this. Our feeling is that this is a planning tool that's immediate, implementable. Unlike a secondary plan, this would not be appealable. There's a question of using the words such as encourage in a secondary plan versus shall, and our feeling is that the planning framework would deliver the same tools through an immediate planning framework that can be delivered as soon as possible. There are other tools that have been mentioned, namely the Cultural Districts Plan, which was considered by City Council in June, and we're confident that that, with a commensurate budget in 2027, will bring forward the desired results from the Community Improvement Plan and the Cultural Districts Plan.
Right, and does the city have authority to control retail rents?
Through the chair, we've done a lot of research into this, particularly with respect to anti-displacement policies, and under the Planning Act, under every other legislative tool that we've researched, we do not have the ability to control rents within Chinatown or to prevent displacement of culturally appropriate retail.
Right, and we've written to the province asking them to change the law, and they have not done so, correct?
That's correct. That was a direction from the April Community Council, and we have written in, and we have not yet heard a response from the province.
Right. And we have, council has already given a direction asking that funds be provided in the 2027 budget for an implementation plan for West Chinatown Cultural District, correct?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
Okay. In terms of the concerns that you've heard this morning about preventing displacement, protecting Chinatown, are there any other planning tools that we could do right now that would be helpful that aren't included in your report?
Through the chair, I wish there was. We wish there was. We've done an exhaustive amount of research over the last 2.5 years through the Chinatown Tomorrow Planning Study. We feel that the planning framework brought forward with the associated official plan amendments and zoning bylaw amendments are the greatest tool we have at our disposal presently, alongside the Cultural District Program, which is also hopefully going to be brought forward with budget implementation in 2027.
Okay, some of the deputants asked that we defer this item until we can impose inclusionary zoning with very long protected tenures. Is that within the control of the city?
Through the chair, the city cannot control the timing of provincial decisions such as inclusionary zoning, whether further delays for implementation that may occur. Deferring the proposed official plan amendment would provide no clear benefits. The official plan amendment will complement the guidelines within the planning framework, which supports opportunities for affordable housing, public realm improvements, and the implementation of other planning framework objectives.
You've heard the request from the deputants that this not be the end of the road, but that at the beginning of continuing community involvement. Is that going to happen?
Through the chair, we're asking council to consider this planning framework as well as the planning tools recommended through the official plan amendment and the zoning bylaw amendment. Our expectation is that the planning framework will guide both capital investment through redevelopment, but also civic investment through public investment in the area through various initiatives from transportation services, economic development, and also city planning. So we're confident that this is the tool to bring forward the desired response to the Chinatown Tomorrow Planning Study, and we hope this is the first of many steps happening within Chinatown.
Right, and this planning framework will support the work that we've already directed city staff across the city to do in terms of implementing the cultural district plan and whatever protections we can give to West Chinatown, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions of staff?
Yes, I have some questions.
Deputy Mayor Malik.
Thank you. I just want to pick up on one of the questions that was asked in regard to the jurisdictional scan of secondary plans across Ontario to review, I believe it's enforceable anti-displacement measures. This is a very real and priority concern from what we heard today and what our engagement has been on this work. Can you share the status of the scan and summarize for us what you did find?
Through the chair, a jurisdictional scan of anti-displacement policies was conducted. The most relevant ones were from the city's own secondary plans from Downsview, Jane Finch, and Mount Dennis. These policies generally ask landowners to consider the displacement impacts of their proposals in their development applications. While these policies are in effect and enforced, they are largely untested and they are still fairly recent. So the proposed planning framework includes similar language in terms of asking landowners to offer first right of refusal and leasing to local businesses and services.
Okay, so from what you found and what we're moving forward, it materially has the same kind of useful measures that you found. So what, why choose this approach instead of a secondary plan?
Through the chair, the planning frameworks are generally faster to create, but also they are not appealable. So for secondary plans, if they are appealed, it may, for example, may take 3 to 5 years, and these policies wouldn't be in effect while new applications come in. While if a planning framework is endorsed and adopted, it would come into effect right away.
Okay, that's helpful. So understanding that the timeliness of the approach that's in front of us. We also heard a lot about Chinatown as a cultural district and the community improvement tools that this will bring, and some of the very clear asks and requests that that have been shared by a number of the speakers does seem in alignment with what had been brought forward previously. Can you share the relationship between the cultural districts plan and clarify what work is taking place in relation to the planning framework that we're seeing today? How do they work together?
So through the chair, we're ensuring that the cultural districts plan and any future community improvement plans for West Chinatown are very closely informed by the key directions of the planning framework. So this will include concepts such as the protection of small businesses, cultural and heritage placemaking, and ensuring that communities can grow in place. We'll be continuing to engage with the communities that help to inform the planning framework to ensure their priorities are very clearly reflected and central in any future community improvement plans.
Those are all the questions for me. Thank you.
Chair, I apologize for doing this from the transit, but it couldn't be helped. I just have a quick follow-up question to Deputy Mayor Malik around the jurisdictional scan. Did you find that any other city was in a better position in terms of achieving some of the anti-displacement objectives that have been laid out by the deputants, and that which council supports in terms of our positions? And if yes, would those have been enabled by the provincial government of that particular city?
Through the chair, unfortunately, no. We have not found anything that was more enforceable. As previously mentioned, the most relevant would be the city's own, which haven't really been proven yet, though they are approved and enforced.
Before, we've heard in this committee that Montreal has done a better job with respect to this kind of displacement. Is this, in terms of your scan, was that that was not found to be accurate in terms of what's enforceable and materially delivers the results that we want?
So through the chair, we did a wide jurisdictional scan both on Chinatowns and anti-displacement policies. We looked at Chicago, we looked at San Francisco, we looked at Vancouver, Calgary, and Montreal in particular. The key difference is the legislative framework surrounding those jurisdictions. So in Ontario, we are, in Toronto, we are bound by the legislative authority of the province of Ontario and the government of Canada. And we had found that the key difference between Toronto and Montreal is that we do not have the legislative authority within the Planning Act to govern things like anti-displacement policies or retail displacement.
Yeah, that was my question before, is that the provincial government has enabled Montreal to bring in policies that discourage or stop displacement, just as, for example, the city of Montreal has right of first, is informed first about certain properties that are being sold, which would puts the city in an advantageous position to be able to purchase those properties. So thank you.
Through the chair, I don't know what the question was, but definitely there's a difference in the jurisdictional authority we have in Toronto versus Montreal, and the province of Quebec has made legislative change to enable some of those municipal acquisitions to occur, which we do not yet have that authority.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Chair, I'm ready to speak if we're at that point.
Sure, just a sec. Yeah. First of all, Councillor Bravo, don't be ashamed of doing your work from the TTC. I think you're actually modeling perfect behavior. If you have to do it in transit, do it on transit. Okay. Are there any other questions? No? Councillor Sachs would like to speak.
Yes, thank you. And again, sorry I'm not physically in the room. I have a motion that the staff can put up, please. So this motion I've been working on with staff for some little time to address to the best of our ability the outstanding requests from the community to the extent that we can. The first is, again, to reinforce the requests that we already made through at council in, I think, March and April, to request the mayor as part of the 2027 budget process to allocate funding to support the implementation of the cultural district program in West Chinatown. That is the approach that has the best chance of protecting what we all love in Chinatown. The second is a longstanding request directing the executive director of corporate real estate management in collaboration with economic development and culture to explore community uses at 161 Baldwin Street, which is the TPA parking lot. There are 2 vacant retail units that have been vacant, one of them for years. I've been pressing to get those released for community use, and I keep being told it's almost there. But here we're going to have council direction to accelerate that as much as possible. Sections 3, 4, and 5 are relating to the requests that we saw reiterated over and over through the Chinatown Planning Framework consultations and the Cultural District conversations about the need for more dedicated public outdoor space for cultural activities in Chinatown. And the Huron Plaza has been identified as the area that we can most quickly, most feasibly implement at the least cost. And so what this does is this provides the general manager of transportation services authority to provide, to approve street events, much as has been done for Church Street with the leadership of Councillor Moyes. This now gives the staff authority to do the absolute same for Huron Plaza. It takes an applicant, and we'll continue to work with the BIA and with the Chinatown Land Trust. We hope that one or both of them will step forward to hold street events on Huron Square that provide public access and animation and maybe, Tai Chi and Chinese chess and maybe food carts, whatever the community wants in that space. The normal rule is that those events can only be for a maximum of 4 days. Transportation services to be clear that this is the authority they need so that if a Chinatown organization steps forward and is ready to do this animation, staff now have all the authority that they need. All the other pieces that have been asked for today, to the extent that we have authority to do it, we've already done, Deputy Mayor Malik and I, in our motions to council on the cultural district program, on identifying, designating West Chinatown as a cultural district, directing staff to work across the city, to develop an implementation plan, to develop a community improvement plan. Again, reinforcing all of our requests to the mayor to provide funding in the budget. This is a mayor's decision. We certainly, by this motion, are going to reinforce our request and the community's request for funding. You know, as the deputy said, it's great to have a framework, but now we need to implement it, and that takes staff, and that takes money, and that those resources have to be allocated in the 2027 budget. I have been working with the Economic Development Culture. They tell me they have requested those funds for the last 5 years and didn't get them. So now we need to get them. So we're doing what we can at council. I encourage the very well organized and passionate lovers of Chinatown to, you know, continue to organize, put together a giant petition, get it delivered to the mayor about why this is important, what a kind of a difference it could make. And, you know, the mayor, whoever they are, does listen to the public. So a strong public voice asking for those resources will undoubtedly help. In terms of the other requests that we should have, this should be the beginning of the next step of the conversation and not the end of the conversation. I'm absolutely committed to that.
Final thoughts, please.
Okay, I am working with the Chinatown Land Trust. I will continue to work with the community, as will, I'm sure, Deputy Mayor Malik. We know this needs to keep going. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Malik, 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I have a motion, 2 motions actually. Thank you for displaying them. I appreciate that. And I want to just start by sharing my deep gratitude for all the residents, the community advocates, the local business owners who have been a part of this process from the very start, and especially for speaking today. Your commitment, your care, your love for Chinatown is what has been a driving force behind this work, every aspect of it. And those concerns regarding development pressures, the fear of displacement, the concerns around the impact of affordability are deeply felt and incredibly valid through our work together. That is very clear, and that's what it has shown us. And it is also very clear to us that Chinatown is a neighborhood, and it's more than just that. It's a cultural heart of our communities. It's historic. It's about character, but it's also about the future of what that looks like and how we preserve some of the most important characteristics of that as we move forward, and how we do prioritize belonging and affordability and placement, right, in those communities, and that's very important. And this report does represent an important step in addressing that and securing the future of the neighborhood. And this comprehensive planning framework does something very important in terms of being able to do that in the most immediate way. It uses those existing tools that the city has to make it immediately clear that the center of this work is around cultural heritage, around the survival of local businesses, of housing accessibility, and the preservation of neighborhood character as a core requirement for any growth and development coming forward. And unlike tools in this city that can take literal years to finalize, this community has been waiting far too long for the city to take much serious action and to be moving this forward with the earnestness and the urgency that this requires. And we still know that there is more to be done on this. But what this approach does allow us to do is to put these vital protections into action right away with what is in front of us. And that also means that starting today, we have those tools to guide development, to enhance the public realm, to support our community's needs without unnecessarily lengthy waits, and a path that provides some of the most direct and timely support in response to what we have heard and been in dialogue about for Chinatown. And I believe that the best way forward and what is so critical from the experience that we have had around this plan for Chinatown is to stay close with community members and advocates who've been a part of the process, who continue to reach out, who continue to share your perspective and raise your voices, and also in learning important lessons from other cultural districts and neighborhoods in the city. And that is part of what my motion brings forward today, is to include and build into our plans moving forward a table for that work alongside each other. And adopting this report is, again, one step in that work and the work alongside. But our commitment to addressing the affordability, preventing displacement must continue with the community at the table in this work. I also want to just address some of what has been shared in terms of the asks going forward and what folks have been looking for through our work together, and that this work is a companion piece and in partnership with the Cultural Districts program. And there was a tremendous amount of work that happened in the spring, again, with community advocates and members around this. And that Cultural Districts program supports the pieces around cultural preservation, response to the requests around commercial displacement, and supporting the local capacity building. And it is and will be seeking resources through the 2027 budget process. That's the fastest that we can move at this point in order to secure those resources. And then on just heritage, a cultural heritage resource assessment will start later this year, continue into the following year, to make recommendations for interpretation, conservation, further study. That is the pathway to be able to land on the potential for a heritage conservation district. With this focus on immediate action, on enabling the work that we have heard so clearly from community, and to have community-led priorities be at the heart of this work, I do see this as a meaningful step forward for West Chinatown, and to also share very clearly that our work here is not done yet.
Yeah, thank you. We'll put the motions on the screen. Councillor Sachs's motion first.
Yeah, could we have a recorded vote on the item as amended, please?
Sure. Okay. Councillor Sachs's motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Deputy Mayor Malik's motion. Let's wait for it to come on the screen.
Welcome to our chat.
Go. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And we recorded vote for item as amended.
All those in favor? Councillor Matlow, Councillor Perks, Councillor Bravo, Councillor Sachs, Deputy Mayor Malik, Councillor Moyes, and Councillor Bradford. That carries unanimously.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, we have time for maybe one more. TE 34.18, 181 to 195 Dundas Street West and 63 Center Avenue, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. We have one speaker, Tyler Peck. Are you here? There we go, 3 minutes.
Thank you to the chair and members of community council. My name is Tyler Peck from W&D Associates with the planners for this application. And in the interest of time, thank you for hearing the item before lunch. I will be brief. We'd like to confirm that we agree with the staff report and its recommendations for this site at Dundas Center. I'd also like to thank staff for working collaboratively with us throughout the review of the application and the number of revisions made in response to comments from staff. This proposed 41-story true mixed-use building is appropriate for this downtown site, located within 5 delineated protected major transit station areas, with a built form that is responsive and appropriate to its context, all as outlined in the submission materials and the staff report. The zoning bylaw amendment implements the proposal, and the official plan amendment has been drafted in consultation with planning and heritage staff and is consistent with the other council-approved OPAs for sites on this stretch of Dundas University. We request that Community Council adopt the staff recommendations, and I'm available for any questions.
Wonderful. Any questions for the deputant? Seeing none. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Thank you. I'd like to move the staff recommendations.
Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. So let's go back to the rundown. Councilor Matlow has a few items here. He stepped out when we're doing the rundown, so I'll just go back to it now. Sorry, 1 second.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, 204. T 34.204, appointments to the Central Eglinton Community Central Board of Management. Councilor Matlow.
I move that.
Okay. All those.
Letter from him.
Okay. All the letter from the councilor.
Yes.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. T 34.205, Ardmore Road traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I move it.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. T 34.206, Atlas Avenue traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I move it.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. T 34.207, Forest Hill Road traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I move it.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. T 34.208, Hillsdale Avenue West traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I like to move it. Move it.
All those in favor.
I had to, sorry.
It's okay. I have an image in my head now. T 34.209, Montclair Avenue traffic calming.
I move the recommendations.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. T 34.210, Orioles Road traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I move it.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. TE 34.211, Vesta Drive calming, traffic calming. Councilor Matlow.
I move it.
All those in favor. Opposed. Carried. Okay. We still have a few minutes. I'm just going to.
Got a few more.
No, I think that's it.
Oh.
Let's go to the next item, just because we do have time. If we do it now, then we don't have to do it later. T 34.20, 14 Grange Avenue, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. Sorry. Yeah, okay, you're right. I stand corrected. T 34.19, 701 Fleet Street, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application. We have 3 speakers on this item. Alex Savania. Alex here?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, sorry, honestly. Okay, go ahead, 3 minutes.
Good morning or afternoon, Mr. Chair, council members. My name is Alex Savnew. I am a planner and senior associate at Bousfields. We are the planning and community engagement consultants on the file. Online is Dave Myers and Olenka Karetnik, the other 2 speakers, but they're simply here to answer questions. Just want to take a moment to thank the Deputy Mayor and staff for their hard work on the file over the past several months. It really has been a collaborative effort with parks, engineering, and planning staff. I also want to thank George Pantazis, our planner. And again, I'll be very brief. As Canada's first WNBA team, the Tempo represents a major moment for Toronto, inspiring the next generation and elevating the city on the global basketball stage. We're very happy to deliver this world-class performance facility, along with publicly accessible spaces, including basketball courts and a soccer pitch on the site. With that being said, we've read the approval report. We have no issues with the recommendations, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Deputant? Seeing none. Deputy Mayor Malik.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I just want to speak to this briefly. I know in my downtown communities, the incredible demand for high quality recreation, for parks and public spaces. And from the start of my work with our communities, it has been looking at all the opportunities to advance the commitment and the priority on that. Our public spaces are precious, our community centers, our parks, our backyards, our gathering spaces. They are really important and precious, especially for those of us who live in tall buildings. And, you know, this opportunity in this application that we are moving forward is an incredible, way of imagining and actually landing that community access, that amenities, and doing it in a way that we can be really proud of as a city of Toronto. I'm proud of the growth of women's professional supports in our city, to have the home and hub of those being in our downtown communities, and how they reflect, our committee and our community's care. To particularly the involvement and the championing of young women and girls in sports to be able to participate, to learn, to grow, but also to see themselves in the highest level of competition. And the Toronto Tempo Performance Center that is moving forward on this site is just an incredible example for our first WNBA facility in North America, to include the dedicated community access and programming that we've been very proud to work alongside each other to achieve. It also delivers on long-awaited new park space and community access, recreation, and enjoyment. I am very happy to move the staff recommendations and to see this work continuing forward, and with the engagement of our neighborhoods as well.
Thank you. All those in favor of staff's recs? Opposed? Carried. So to the members, before you step away, I'm going to give you an extra 5 minutes for lunch. It's still at 12:25. I please ask that you come back at 1:30. We still have a lot of items on the agenda, so if we start on time, then the sooner we can actually leave here this evening. So please return at 1:30 sharp. Thank you so much. Enjoy your lunch.